But I just wanted to take the time to show you how to do a relatively simple, not too complicated. I won't say easy because what's easy for me is not easy for you. This was the first irrigation DIY system that I installed. I did a little research and had to figure out my pressure that I was going to use and the gallons per minute. So what I did to start off was figure out where I'm going to get my water source. So I decided to use my house spigot, and I wanted to achieve a sprinkler system on the most budget friendly system that I could do. Now, I knew that I was going to have to do this was going to be a trial and error, and I was going to have to make some adjustments. So first thing that I did was I came over to my spigot. I put a pressure gauge on here, and I did this two ways. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a backflow preventer on here, and this one is new. The original one seized on here, so I had to take it off. And what I did was, being that this was already off, I put the pressure gauge on here, went ahead and did my gallons per minute. Now I was shocked what I got. My pressure that I got was 60 psi without the backflow preventer on there. I did my gallons per minute, and I got I was averaging between 8 to 10 gallons per minute without this backflow. Went to Home Depot. I got my backflow, my new one. I got some additional pieces for my system that I was going to put together. Put the backflow on, put the gauge on, still registered 60. However, this cut my gallons per minute in half instantly. I was like 5.5 gallons per minute, and I was mind blown. So I wasn't sure if it was going to work after that, so I continued to go ahead with the system that I was going to do, which I utilized this Orbit dual outlet timer. My plumbing was simple, so based off of the research that I found was that flow was relatively important. So there was two ways to do this. You could do 1 inch, 3/4, and then I've seen a lot of people stepping down whichever one they chose as their main. So if they use 3/4, they use those 1/2 inch elbows with the barb and put the funny pipe on, and then ran it to 1/2 inch. So I was like, okay, I could do that. Well, I decided to keep everything 3/4 as possible, and that's what I did. So there is on my timer, what I did was I used this is like a coupling to me. This is a threaded coupling, 3/4 on both sides, with a threaded male adapter to the 45 elbow, and 3/4 down, and then I ran 3/4 this way, and I'm running about 75, maybe 75 feet. Got one head here and 3 down there. Relatively simple system, and I just wanted to tell you that this hookup is sufficient to run 4 rotor sprinkler heads. Now, it's not the greatest pressure, because what I also did was I took my 75-foot hose to the spigot, ran it out, put the gauge back on, and I was right about 48.50. So I knew that I was going to lose that pressure. Even though the PVC holds some pressure, I wasn't sure if these heads were going to work properly. Once I got my sprinklers on, and then I capped in all 4 of these sprinklers, and the 75-foot covers this whole yard, except for this section right here. I left that section, that's a 10 by 10. I purposely left that out because we're putting a paver there, a paver pad there, this section here, this is a 10 by 20. Up to the end of the house, we're putting another paver pad here. And that section back there on the fence is going to be a play area and a fire pit. These are 15 to 30 feet heads. Now what I did was, these sprinkler heads are 15 feet apart exactly, and they overlap 5 to 6 feet, and it covers everything. Now our lot is your standard 1/4 acre lot, and it covers all of this, including this corner piece here. I have this head adjusted to where it comes out. It does just about a 360 all the way around, and I promise you it works, and it puts down sufficient amount of water. And not only that, I do believe that I can get another head off of here. So what I'm going to do is, being that I got a dual outlet, I'm going to run this underneath my fence to do this section here, which is another 25, 30 feet. Put one more head, and you can separate the timing. So I will play a video, and I will show you some different angles of the system that I have. I'm not sure if going from 3/4 and stepping it down to a 1/2 inch, I didn't test that. I just kept everything 3/4. And all 4 of these sprinklers are rotors, and they all function properly. They pop up, they spin around, and I'm able to adjust them. So if you're looking for a DIY sprinkler system that you can install like a professional system and still utilize your house spigot, then I hope this will be helpful for you. Just to recap, 3/4 inch threaded coupling, male adapter, a 3 1/4, a 45, 3/4 down, here's my T, a 3/4 up to a male adapter, 1/2 inch to the sprinkler head, a 90. Like I said, I ran these 10-foot sections as far as I could go, and I put a coupling in the middle. But this is how I tied all the rest of the sprinklers in. T, okay, 3/4, a 90, and I came up. I kept this simple. Put your thread tape on there. I do have to do one more final check to make sure that there's no leaks here. The rest of my PVC pipe does not leak. I already adjusted those 2 heads down there, and I'm gonna do one more final check, and that's about it.